Wolvesbayne, released by SP Releasing and Echo Bridge, a company that fills the Dollar Tree shelves, is the only movie I found at the Dollar Tree in a steelbook. Of course, with its artwork and the fact that it's a werewolf movie in a steelbook at the Dollar Tree before it became the $1.25 tree, I had to grab it. And you know what? I haven't even opened this one, so cut to unboxing. So I haven't even opened this one yet. I've not even taken the plastic off, so we'll have a little unboxing video here. I just run a screwdriver up it to see what's inside, shall we? Bloop. So normally these things have a little back protector, but this one's actually printed on the back, which is kind of cool. Steelbook. I'll let you guys see the cross. I mean, kind of cool. This is a movie that's been festering on my shelves since all the steelbooks or collector's editions get shelf space regardless, but I have to say after a quick glance at IMDb and that rating, it's never become a priority for me. Of course, doing a random number generator would pick it to be the second film and a follow-up to Ron, which is pretty funny. Before I talk about this film, have you ever heard of the term sci-fi original used to describe a film? At least in my circle, there's a term we use to define a certain type of film. Growing up with the Sci-Fi Channel, or Sci-Fi now, used to make a lot of low-budget schlocky horror and sci-fi films that was riddled with bad acting, terrible effects, poor writing, and overall just cheap production. It was a standard for the channel, as rarely memorable movies could break that mold, thus coining the term sci-fi original, used to describe movies in the same ilk that may or may not be a sci-fi original movie. This term completely applies to Wolvesbayne. After Lilith, a powerful vampire, is vanquished, a coven wants to bring her back to the world by collecting amulets, all while Russel Bayne, the Bane of Wolvesbayne,
wow, Felix was right. You are gorgeous.
Is trying to buy out Alex's occult store for capitalist reasons. One night driving home, he is stopped by a young woman who believes she hit a person and her car won't start. After driving away, he sees her being attacked by a werewolf and of course thinks he can help, so he jumps in and gets attacked too. Waking up in a hospital, he finds he has some new senses and Alex helps him become the wolf he needs to be, as he also gets mixed up with the coven trying to revive Lilith. Honestly, it's not a bad premise, and it does lead to some fun moments, even if that fun comes from a sense of irony, especially the opening music.
Until now.
It borders those lines of so bad it's good, but also in some cases its cheesiness and low budget nature lends way to some unironically fun moments as well. For the most part, they use some practical effects which vary depending on how it's used. Sometimes it looks fun and cheesy, coming off as cheap, but in other moments it's effective in selling the scene. The same could be said for the CGI effects as well. Sometimes it's really bad, but in other times it's somewhat impressive for it being a 2009 low budget film. Acting wise, it's pretty bad across the board, which is kind of surprising even coming from Alex, who you might remember as Kim Possible or Ren Stevens. The rest of the cast are all pretty bad too, but some are better than others. Most of the film looks horrendous when it comes to cinematography, with poor lighting that comes off as digitally graining, where instead of using proper lighting, they just push the camera's ISO. You can really tell this with a scene where Russell gets into the fridge as this void of grain when he's in the fridge, but then it cuts to the low light scene with heavy digital grain. There's also scenes where it looks out of focus, moments of the camera movement can come off as amateurish, and there's an abundance of close-ups even when it's showing a wider area where the image just constantly feels cropped. The plot of the story is okay, but the dialogue is hilarious. Russell has a soft character arc where he shifts from being a callous businessman to a helping and more caring individual, but everyone else is pretty one-dimensional that gets no development. There's also this weird lineage with Russell and Van Helsing's group. Oh yeah, Van Helsing shows up in this, but not the good one. This discovery of his lineage just felt out of place and shoehorned in there. Russell's werewolf attack was completely random. Were the vampires always just going to go after him because of his grandfather or great-grandfather? I can't remember now, past dealings, you know. What would happen if he doesn't get the furry powers? It's just a weird route to go that I don't understand why. Oh yeah, that's right. It was convenient for the plot. Duh, makes sense now. Honestly though, Wolvesbayne was a little better than I expected and should be lumped into that pile of not good movies, but something worth putting on in the background of a party where you and your friends just glance at it from time to time, laugh at its set pieces, and continue on with whatever you're doing. And I'm giving this one a 3 out of 10.